Welcome into the 49ers Report by Chat Sports. I'm Chase Senior. Hope all of the faithful is having a fantastic week. Let's break down the latest 49ers news and rumors, and we start off with A.J. Brown. I've received this question from a lot of fans out there and a lot of subscribers of the 49ers Report. Hey, A.J. Brown, there are trade rumors surrounding the elite wide receiver for the Tennessee Titans. Should the 49ers go out there and trade for A.J. Brown? Let's dissect these rumors and break it down, and I'll give you some thoughts as to why I think the 49ers will not trade for A.J. Brown, and I don't think they should trade for A.J. Brown. First, we start off with this report from Dianna Russini of ESPN. She said this about A.J. Brown, who's been communicating with Jalen Hurts on Instagram, like Deebo Samuel, entering the final year of his rookie contract with that historic NFL draft class going into the final year of that rookie deal. He's looking to get paid. Him and Deebo Samuel, it's only a matter of time before they do get paid. So that's why these trade rumors are surfacing around Deebo Samuel as well as A.J. Brown. So Dianna Russini saying this about A.J. Brown. Tennessee Titans are not shopping or taking calls on A.J. Brown per sources. General Manager Jon Robinson made it clear at the owners' meetings they are currently working towards keeping Brown a Titan for the long term. I'm told this has not changed. So his situation, very similar to the one going on in San Francisco right now with Deebo Samuel. But never say never with crazy transactions happening in the National Football League, because over the last couple of weeks, we have witnessed the most crazy, the most chaotic, the most epic NFL offseason in the history of this great league. Russell Wilson traded to the Denver Broncos. Carson Wentz traded to the Washington Commanders. Deshaun Watson was cleared legally. He got dealt to the Cleveland Browns. Davante Adams in a shocker sent from Green Bay to the Las Vegas Raiders to team up with his college teammate at Fresno State and quarterback Derek Carr. And Tyreek Hill was traded from the Kansas City Chiefs, leaving Patrick Mahomes, going to South Beach to team up with Mike McDaniel and Tua Tagovailoa with the Miami Dolphins. So everybody wants to get into the comment section and say, these rumors are crazy. This is clickbait. This will never happen. Any of these things to my right, we never thought they were going to happen. They happen over the span of a couple of weeks. And the fact that Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time coming out of retirement, doesn't even crack this list, it goes to show you the epic nature that this NFL offseason has presented with us. And hey, we appreciate the content. As for A.J. Brown, the player, he's been one of the best players in the National Football League at the wide receiver position since coming into the league out of Ole Miss. The production has been crazy. Now, this past year, the numbers down a little bit because he was dealing with a variety of injuries, but still, with a middle-tier quarterback at Ryan Tannehill at his disposal, he still put up monster numbers. 63 catches in 2021. 869 yards, average yards per catch at 14, and 5 touchdowns. And A.J. Brown and Deebo Samuel are going to get the bag, and sooner rather than later, they're going to enter the conversation being one of the highest paid wide receivers in the NFL, right up there with Tyreek Hill, Davante Adams, DeAndre Hopkins, DJ Moore, and Keenan Allen, because the NFL salary cap is only going to continue to increase, and you also have to factor this into the equation. Because of the rule changes in the NFL, because of the league catering more to the offensive side of the football and wide receivers becoming more and more important for quarterbacks out there, the salary cap numbers and the average annual value for wide receivers is also on the uptick. So Deebo Samuel and A.J. Brown will soon become one of the 5 highest paid wide receivers in the National Football League. In my opinion, they're going to enter that aforementioned category. Now, here's why I think that the 49ers shouldn't trade for A.J. Brown and why they won't trade for A.J. Brown. Because they have to pay Deebo Samuel. And if you want to bring back Deebo Samuel and make him one of the highest paid wide receivers, as one of the most dynamic offensive players that we have seen in recent memory in the NFL, you can only pay one wide receiver $20 to $30 million per year. You can't allocate that much money to 2 players at the same position, which is what you would have to do if you traded for A.J. Brown. So pick one between one of these players who you have to pay, and pick one who is the better player, who is more impactful. I'd go with Deebo Samuel because he plays multiple positions. He can also return punts and kicks and is an absolute game breaker. I'm typing my DS for the better player in Deebo Samuel. Do you disagree with me? If you do, that's all good in the hood, G. Type AJ for A.J. Brown in the comment section. Either way, both of these players are going to get paid, but because both are going to secure the bag, you can only pay one, which is why the Niners will not go out there and trade for A.J. Brown. While you're down there getting your votes in, you see that red subscribe button? Make sure you smash that if you haven't already done so, because here on the 49ers Report, we're pushing out free daily videos covering the latest 49ers news and rumors. We have you covered during the season. We have you covered during the offseason. NFL draft, NFL free agency. We are here to serve the faithful. Let's get to 60,000 subs as soon as possible. Just hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/49erstv. NFL draft only a couple weeks away, April 28th to the 30th in Las Vegas, so it is mock draft season. We have continued to push out draft coverage here on the 49ers Report, and we're going to continue to do so. Todd McShay of ESPN, one of their draft experts, alongside Mel Kiper Jr., did push out his latest mock draft on Tuesday. Who does he have slotted to the Niners at pick number 61 in this latest two-round mock draft? How about Nick Cross, safety out of Maryland, going to San Francisco at pick number 61. 66 tackles in 2021, 3 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups. Now, we know that San Francisco has multiple needs in that secondary. Could they cross off that need by drafting Nick Cross? Here's what Todd McShay had to say about the prospect. Welcome to the draft, San Francisco, because they don't have a first-round pick. They gave that up to trade for Trey Lance last year. With Jimmy Ward entering the final year of his deal, the Niners might look to add to the secondary here. At 6 foot, 212 pounds, Cross has great size. He has center fielder speed and plenty of versatility. Now, I did my due diligence as the host of the 49ers Report. I also love diving into these prospects during NFL draft season, and I scouted Nick Cross. Here are my takeaways for Nick Cross. He's a good athlete. He's a really physical tackler, not scared to put his nose in there and really come up to the line of scrimmage and make tackles, or sit back at that safety position and lay the wood. He has good instincts and ball skills, which is really what you need in today's pass-happy NFL, because opposing quarterbacks are always looking to pick you apart in that secondary. He is a center fielder type of safety with good range from sideline to sideline, made a couple of really good plays on the football last year for the Terrapins, and he can also play special teams. So if he isn't an immediate impact player at that safety spot, he can contribute from day one with being a special teams player, kick return coverage, but also punt return coverage as well. Now, you look at his 2021 stats. This goes to show you the versatility that he has at that safety spot, because he can make plays in a variety of areas in multiple spots, box safety or back deep. 3 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, and 5 pass breakups on the season for Nick Cross. And in the Big Ten, you're facing a lot of really good wide receivers, especially at Ohio State, at a program like Michigan and Penn State. So the level of competition, very good for Nick Cross at that safety spot as well. Now, Nick Cross going to the Niners and Todd McShay's latest mock draft, I want you to get into the comment section and you tell me, because I know there are a lot of draft nerds out there. So who are your favorite second-round draft targets for San Francisco in round 2? I like Jaquan Brisker. I like Jalen Petrie. You let me know a name or names in the comment section. I want to hear from you. And since we're talking about the NFL draft here on the 49ers Report, NFL draft hats for San Francisco, they're flying off the shelves like crazy. I was talking to the bosses today, and I was like, yo, how are these Niners draft hats selling as compared to other teams out there that we cover here at Chat Sports? 49ers draft hats, #1 seller under the Chat Sports umbrella. That's awesome. So if you want to get yours, you can do so. Just make sure you plug in that link down below, chatsports.com/49ers draft hats, so that Fanatics knows that the 49ers Report and that Chat Sports sent you. Let's shift now to some of the pre-draft visits, all of the pre-draft visits, at least that we know of up to this point, that San Francisco has done so far in the lead-up to the NFL draft. A lot of players who they've met with, and that's good because they're doing their due diligence, trying to figure out which players that they want to hone in on for the NFL draft. Marcus Jones, cornerback out of Houston. Samori Toure, wide receiver out of Nebraska. Alex Wright, defensive end out of UAB. Troy Anderson, linebacker out of Middle Tennessee State. Michael Clemens out of Texas A&M. James Cook, running back out of Georgia. Boye Mafe, defensive end out of Minnesota. Drake Jackson, defensive end out of USC. Cam Jurgens, center out of Nebraska, Jon Robinson, defensive end out of Miami of Ohio, Myjai Sanders, defensive end out of Cincinnati, Christian Watson. A lot of people really like him, especially among the faithful because he played college football with Trey Lance at North Dakota State, 6'5", with like 4.3 speed. Mike Harley, wide receiver out of Miami. Chase Lucas, cornerback out of Arizona. Trey Webb, defensive back, also out of Middle Tennessee State. And Gene Dellance, offensive tackle, Dellance out of Florida. Producer Crew picking me up there because he's a big fan of the Florida Gators. So those are the pre-draft visits that have taken place so far for San Francisco. And what's the common theme here? They're really honing in on a couple of position groups here. Defensive secondary, offensive line, wide receiver, and defensive line. So with that, I want to ask you this. What is the biggest area of need for the 49ers in the draft? Also, some reports just coming out from Aaron Wilson, does a good job covering the NFL, that Malik Turner, wide receiver, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, visiting with San Francisco. Niners looking to add depth to that wide receiver position as evidenced by the pre-draft visits, but also some of the moves and some of the rumors around San Francisco during NFL free agency and the offseason so far. So, what is the biggest area of need for the 49ers in the 2022 NFL Draft? You let me know. And also, make sure you subscribe to the channel because our draft coverage is going to continue to be lit right here on the 49ers Report.